Hi, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you all. I've got a few things I wanted to talk about, so I figured I'd come on and do a live. Whether anybody comes by, they can look at it later. That's not a problem. I'd like to start out with a short prayer. Father, Mother, God, Holy Spirit, I am that I am. Please send loving light out across the universe to all those who are suffering or dealing with hardships. I ask that you endow them with whatever is for the highest good of all concerned. And thank you for this day and this space. Aho. There's something really nice about chimes and bowls that sing, and really nice smelling incense, really nice smelling candles to set a mood. And I always feel that much better when it is a lovely day outside. I've been getting up with the sun, so I get up between 5 and 6 each day. And I've been going outside and working with my plants and my garden. Hi, Renee. And also doing my walking. And yesterday I was on my walk, and as always, I have an epiphany when I walk because I'm in that sort of Zen state. And I started listening to a meditation on my iPod, ear pods, whatever they're called. And it was so powerful. It was like I was being lifted. I felt as though I could fly. It was a wonderful feeling, even though I was continuously walking long. So it was just a nice affirmation. And so a lot of things have been happening to me in the past week or so, and I want to run by a few things. The first thing is Inquisitive Tarot-Sheilah Lynch, who's going to be with me on Wednesday. She's had some gifts recently open up for her. We're going to talk about that and some other things. And that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and 4 p.m. Pacific. So please come by and see us if you can at that time. Then I wanted to tell you all about what's coming up at Hay House. Hay House, Denise Linn, I'm sure you're all familiar with at least her name, but she does all these oracle cards. She does Sacred Destiny. She does Sacred Traveler cards, and she has a lot of different ones. And as you well know, the oracle card market is pretty flooded with lots and lots of different kinds of oracles out there now. And, we can pull them every day and see what the energies are. But this class, free, Free, will be offered on YouTube, and it will by Denise Linn, and she already has people signing up for it, and you get like a meditation and a couple of introduction videos you can watch, and then she's got some times listed like Tuesday at this time, Wednesday at this time, that kind of thing. And even if you get hit one or two of them, it's free, folks. It's free, so do it. Renee, I couldn't agree with you more. Sheila has really stepped out of her shell, hasn't she? I know, I'm really proud of her as well. She's really a nice lady. So anyway, it's free. You can go there, go to hayhouse.com, and you will see the listing for the Oracle event, Oracle card event. I suppose you could probably even use tarot card if you had them, or if you have other kinds of cards. There's no one way of doing anything. If you don't, and you go out and buy, she didn't say you had to buy any of her cards, but if you go out and get a couple of them, I recommend, my favorite one is Sacred Traveler. I like that the best. Then I like the Sacred Destiny, and I'm going to be using the Sacred Destiny because she uses it in her example, because I've already watched the videos that she did. So I wanted everybody to know about that because I think it's a really good opportunity. Some of us are not card readers. At least, I am a card reader, but not publicly, because people get very critical, and I want to feel absolutely, sure of what I'm saying to somebody, or at least sure in the moment. So, I'm going to do a layout as she suggested, and I'm going to do it for myself so that you can see how it's done, but you can do it for anybody. And what I like about it is you work with the other person, and the other person offers feedback into what they feel. And so the intuition and the exchange is how the reading is done. So you're not asking, am I going to get a car next week or whatever? You might be asking more, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Should I do this? Should I try that? So we'll do that in a few minutes, and I'd love to do that with you all. The other thing was, speaking of gifts coming out, my husband, Keith, who some of you know from Heart and Soul Connected, of course, he started out here. He comes to the manifesting shows with us, or at least he used to. I don't know if he'll be able to now. He is currently working 6 to 7 days a week at 2 different chiropractic offices, and one of them is 133 miles away. And so he is traveling and staying overnight and then coming home over the weekend, although he really only has Saturday off, and then he's working today, and he's working tomorrow, and then he leaves Tuesday to go back up there. So needless to say, you can imagine I'm by myself in the house, and I've been listening to some pretty powerful meditations. After I had Bob read my Akashic records and tell me that my guides want to talk to me, and they want me to open up to them, and they want me to work with them, I felt it was a real push to get going on that. So between reading the book by Sonia Choquette and also listening to the meditations, 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it was Wednesday morning, I didn't wake up before then. 3 o'clock is, as you know, the time in between, the time where the veil is the thinnest. I got up to go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden, this man started to talk to me, in my head. And he said, "Hello, Allie, I'm glad you're finally opening up to me." And I said, "Oh, you're here." And he said, "Yes." I said, "What's your name?" "Mohammed." I said, "Oh, well, do you have anybody with you?" And a young woman said her name was Celestine. So that's the 2 names I got. Then they proceeded to bring through every single person that I know that is on the other side. Yes, it is bladder hour, definitely, and witching hour. And my mother came through first. She brought through my mother-in-law. My brother was there. But the most interesting thing was 3 or 4 different young people that had died, one when I was in junior high school and 2 in high school. They came through to say hello, and it just made me feel very welcome and very happy. And but I didn't get too up, like I certainly wasn't afraid. It was just so nice, but it was also 3 in the morning. So I'm like, okay, please come back. And Muhammad said, "You have to be willing to hear things that you may not want to hear. Are you okay with that?" And I said, "Well, I guess so. I guess I can get used to that. Thank you. I want you to come through and tell me what you can." Well, I know it was really crowded in there, Renee. It was like 25 people in my bathroom. And so, really, I didn't need a light. It got lit up by all those souls. Anyway, so I thought it was just, I haven't seen them since, although I think I heard a couple of them, saying a few things, but it wasn't a really. And for me, I'm also taking Susan Linn and Medium Kim's seminar on the clairs, the clairsentience, clairaudience, clair whatever, which you can find out about on their pages, Susan Linn's page or Medium Kim's page, which starts the 26th, and it's going to be like it's going to be like a Zoom, but it's in a Eventbrite or something like that. So I'm looking forward to that because I've never heard anything audibly. I just hear it in my head. And I used to not believe that I really heard anything. I thought I was making it up, but I didn't make that up. I didn't feel like I made that up. And then when all the people came, I think that's why all the people came through. And they were all saying hello. Some of them I haven't seen in 50 years or more. So it was just really interesting. So, I also have been reading and looking at the Essenes information. And of course, I have felt very attuned to the Merkaba. I have one here. Here's one. This is a lapis one. And it is also identifies, I've showed it before. but it identifies with Metatron, and Metatron came through that night as well. So Metatron was right there with me. I like that too. Yeah. Yeah, Renee, I think you'd really enjoy that. I really do. As the ladies said when they were talking about it, they said, we're not here to make everybody definitely a YouTube person, let's say, but we are here to teach, how to utilize these gifts. Hello, Sin. Yeah, I know. I'm really excited about it. I really am. I am excited. So yeah, I'm hoping that, and Keith sent me something today, and it said that between now and the Lionsgate, which is 8/8 in Leo, that we are just going to have the upliftment of those ready to be uplifted. And if you're not ready, you're going to kind of be left behind. I think we're already starting to see that. I'm not an astrologer, but, there was also a Jupiter Pisces thing that was going on that said that, we've got money coming to us, and we've got, if we want to have a job, a new job, or whatever it is, I think with the mandating of the lifting of the masks, and I'm seeing more people want to keep them, including myself. If I go in a store, even if it says you don't have to have one, I feel better, even though I've had my shots. But now I might look like an anti-vaxxer if, it's going to be the opposite. And I think this was I really think this was a psychological move on the part of the CDC, because now we're seeing crazy people out there saying we need to wear masks because people that are vaccinated are going to start shedding, and we're going to get the virus from them, and crazy Cocoa Puff stuff. So we're just always going to have that, I guess. And all we can do is just discern that this is just BS that's going around, I guess. And that has nothing to do with people who can't get a vaccination. In other words, it isn't, they could die if they got one, or if it's a child that hasn't had one, or whatever. I'm not judging anybody here. I'm just making sure that these things are noted and let go. That's really, because I really want to be a positive light. I don't want to shine on negative stuff. I really want to be a positive person. So yes, the Tarot Love Community, by the way, has been set up, as you well know, from Renee. She also just went on Dr. Whimsy's show, which was a great show. I loved it, Renee. It really was. You did a fabulous job. And I've also been able to find more people on there to talk about and things like that. And so I'm looking forward to that just blooming and blossoming. So everybody gets on there and gets to know who they want to talk to and where they can find their resources. Okay, Gabriel. Well, I'm thinking that perhaps the Christ consciousness is coming back, and that means the upliftment of souls. So, you're welcome to believe what you would like to believe, but I feel very comfortable with my situation and how I deal with life. So, okay. So let's see, what else did I want to tell you guys? I want to talk about the Seth book just a little bit, because a lot of you said you might be interested in it. Some of you said you were, and I haven't really said anything more about it, but nobody really wanted to do the Zoom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about some of the ideas, and I would love you to share back here today, now or later, anything that you think about what is being said. And I want you to keep in mind that this book was, I guess the word is channeled, but this book was done in 1977, 78, around that time. And it talks about how the individual and the nature of mass events manifest and how it affects them, so to speak. Yeah, I know. It's all right, Renee. Makes it a little more interesting. What is important to remember was, and a lot of you weren't even alive at that time, so I know you don't remember unless you've read about it. We had Jim Jones and the People's Temple massacre down in, is it Ghana? I think it was. I can't think of where it was now. Anyway, 800 people at the People's Temple either were forced to drink cyanide, Kool-Aid. That's why we say now, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, meaning that you go along with what the leader wants. The other things that were happening were, of course, trials and tribulations in the 70s with the Vietnam War and the uprising, the Black Panther movement, a lot of other things that were going on. So that is sort of what anybody reading it at that time would get involved in thinking about. But really, much of this is timeless. And as far as being dense, I guess, meaning not you're dense or I'm dense, but the material can be dense. All I would say is to just push through it, because there are little gems that you can get out of it. And it doesn't really matter if you're a big reader or not, or, you know, you're a fast reader, because actually I've been doing this book now for over a month, and I savor each page because that's the way I read when I like something. So, but I will talk about a few of those things, I promise. All right, so, but first what I want to do is I want to do that reading that Denise Linn talked about on her video. And I'm using the Sacred Destiny cards. And again, you know, I'm not a reader normally, but I can read for myself, and I feel very comfortable with it, even if it's information that seems semi-negative, because I have to be able to read that stuff, okay? So what she asks you to do, of course, is the same way anybody would ask you to do to read. You shuffle, then you take it and you know, spread them out and pick 3. The first question is, what is my blockage? What is it that's blocking me from getting what I want? Okay, so, you know, put your hands over them. Some people can feel the vibrations. Some people say there's nothing, it's just a piece of card. It's okay, whatever you think. And you lay that down, that's your first card. And you thought about, you say that and you think about it as you're picking the card. Oh, the Seth book, I'm sorry, it's this one, The Individual and the Nature of Mass Events. Yep. So that was my first one. The second one is, what can I do to overcome that blockage? What can I do to overcome that blockage? What can I do to overcome that blockage? And the third one is, how will the outcome, what is the outcome going to be? All right. Then you just get the other cards out of the way. And the book. Don't even worry about the book. Be like Andrea on Lilac Lantern. She has never read one of those books, I don't think, that tell her what everything means. She's the one that, oh, you. All right. So the first one is love. Ooh. What is blocking me? Love is blocking me. Look at the flowers. They're gorgeous. Look at the beautiful day. I believe what's blocking me is times when I don't love myself. And I think we all go through that. Times we think we could be better. Times that we wish that our future was brighter or looked brighter to us. I also think that getting out in nature, for me, brings through that love. So when I love myself, I take a walk, I eat right, and I get out and enjoy the world outside. Okay, so the next part is, what is needed by me in order to do this? Ooh, power. I need to bring up my own power. I know. Isn't it true that we can all relate to these? I think this could be a general reading for anybody. We need to take back the power. We don't need to see all the dark. There is power in the middle of this. I'm not doing this right. My hand is going the opposite way. Sorry. The power is here. That power can be destructive. That power can be restorative. I think if we take our power back and we also empower other people, or if I empower other people in my case, because I'm doing the reading on myself, that I can be a better person, better teacher, better whatever person. And what is the outcome? The outcome is leadership. Wow, I've gotten this message before in a different form. It was in the Sacred Traveler cards. It was a couple of weeks ago, and it said leader or something like that. I don't have to be a leader because I can be, I don't want to be a follower. I don't want to really be a leader, but I would like to be able to lead people into their own power and to love themselves. So perhaps that's my outcome. That if I can do it, anybody can do it because we're all just human people. I kind of like that. Anyway, that Denise Linn class will be very good, I think. You know, she's one of the best marketers of Oracle cards that I have seen. So, yeah. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Seth before we go. So what happened is this lady, she was, I believe she just started getting these sort of downloads or these things that come into manifestation. And her husband starts dictating those things. Remember, in the 70s, we had a tape recorder, and that was about it. And then you had to push it, and then you had to transcribe it and all that. So it took a long time. So one of the things I loved in the very beginning was that Seth had said, all creativity is joyful. It's play in the highest sense of the terms, and it's always alive with motion. And so Seth is saying that even this situation with the other people in the room, Jane Roberts and her husband, that it was playful, it was creative, it was informative, and it also called for discernment. There are some things that you may read in some of these things that don't sit well with you, or you just don't agree with them. Hey, you know what? You get to choose. Always. Always. Nobody's going to tell you what you got to think. Nobody. All right. So he says, first of all, you cannot begin to understand the nature of mass events of any kind unless you consider the greater framework that they have in their existence, that puts them into existence. I really like that. He says that the individual will grow outward toward the world, encountering and forming a practical experience, traveling outward from his center in a vine-like fashion, forming from the fabric of physical reality a conglomeration of pleasant or aesthetic and unpleasant or prickly events. So Seth is saying that we are creators, and what we create comes from the thoughts that we have, the events that we see, and all of us have invisible strings that connect each other, and the world has a series of that. And of course, he also believes in what Jung called the collective unconscious, where there is a place in your higher self where you're able to communicate. And that's why people like Susan Linn and Kim and Linda G and those people, they might be talking with somebody's higher self who haven't passed over, but those people are able to be communicated with on that level instead. So great sweeping psychological attitudes on the part of many, and the needs and desires of those involved arise from a framework of religious, psychological, and cultural realities that cannot be isolated from biological events. So, you know, we do choose, I believe we do choose our situation, our family, our place in the world, and those decisions. I wouldn't say they were predestined in a lot of ways as far as where you're going, but you have a particular lesson that you're supposed to learn when you're down here. And when you're not learning it, things don't tend to go the best, you know, when you're not getting knocked over the head, but you usually do get knocked over the head. Only when private nature of reality was emphasized would I be able to show the magnification of individual realities combine and enlarge to form a mass reaction. And we saw this happening in the last 5 years with the repetition of the same words over and over again by large groups of people who are trying to turn people to their agenda, whether it be leaders, whether it be the media, whether it be groups of people who believe in one thing and want to push their agenda. And those things build up, and they come to some kind of a climax. No person also becomes ill unless that illness serves a psychic or psychological reason. So many such people escape such complications if they buy into the mass events and decide that they'll take themselves out that way. Now, that seems pretty trite if you're just saying it that way. Yeah, everybody chooses their death, and if they don't want to be here, they just leave, and that doesn't always explain why people die when they're young, why there are such things as Holocausts, why there are events that rip children away from their parents. Today, there was a bombing of the Hamas building, I believe, in Palestine, and it killed 55 children. 55 children who didn't have anything to do with it, anything else. And so, it's just important to note that, there usually is some kind of a mindset that has to go along with it. And so, like our people here that are trolling me right now, they don't have the intelligence to understand anything that is even being said, because they're not wired that way. So the book essentially is devoted to the nature of the great sweeping emotional, religious, or biological events that engulf us or lift us up into their power. Epidemics and recognized illnesses serve the sociological purpose of providing an acceptable reason for death, a face saving for those who have already decided to die. So what I wanted you to do was go in when you're reading it, pick out some of the things that you like about it or don't like about it, things that you agree with, things that you don't agree with, or you don't understand. And as it goes along, you can either take notes or, like me, highlight different areas that I felt. My problem is that when I start to highlight, I end up highlighting more stuff than I don't highlight. So, it's just a habit of mine. So, all right. So one of the last things I want to talk about today is, you got the Oracle event. I believe that next Tuesday we have our manifestation on Lilac Lantern. I wrote to her and asked her about it. So I'll be checking into that. Sin, I do, and I haven't used it for a very long time because it seemed as though it wasn't getting any kind of reading or anything like that. I might redo it. I might go back into it and do some posts that might, and I would let you know if I did. I thought that it was more passé than it was a while ago. So thank you, though. Thank you very much. All right. So you have a great day. I'd like to leave just with a uplifting thought that all of you enjoy the sunshine. If you don't have the sunshine, the rain isn't that bad either. And I hope all of you are feeling well, and I will see you at another time. And thank you for coming by. Oh, the Seth book is $10 on Kindle. Oh, good. All right. I got this one at Amazon, but I'm sure you can get it on Kindle. No, it's not probably at the library. I wouldn't say. They don't, I don't even believe they have a metaphysical section. So I don't think that they would have it. I'm sorry. But yeah, Kindle, it's only $10. So if that works for you, that's great. All right. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you later. Have a great day. Namaste. I got to find a way to get out of here. All right.